with this I'm scraping by. At least it's cute.
This is day 6 and I'm sick and tired of being inside. I went outside and made a TikTok yesterday, so you know I'm losing my sanity. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video of mine since we're still in quarantine lockdown. My last video I gave some recommendations on things you can do, so this video I'm gonna actually give you things you can watch, listen to, you can look at. So I guess let's just get started. So currently on Instagram, I would say check out Love is Quarantine. It's a really hot, really popping off. If you've seen the show Love is Blind, I have not, but it's kind of similar to that. People enter their information, they put them in the pods, doing all this logistics work in order to actually give interesting dates to people while they're on quarantine. Quarantine in the streets, online dating in the Google Sheets. Next we have Eve Road, Eve Rodemeyer. She asks a bunch of questions on her Instagram story. She's part of the reason why I ask questions on my Instagram story, so definitely check her out. Another good Instagram page to follow would definitely be We're Not Really Strangers. They ask really thought-provoking questions about what it's like to live in this modern era, what it's like to fall in love, what it's like to be alone, how do you treat yourself after getting out of a breakup, how do you move on, just a lot of really thought-provoking questions. And lastly, I would say look up Danielle and Trevor. They're both daily posting right now on Instagram, and we all know how I feel about daily posting on Instagram. Danielle sometimes makes stop motion videos, and Trevor, I don't even know how to begin to give him a quality review. Ow. Next up we have Twitter, and one of the few people I would recommend to look up on Twitter, one of them being Andre. He's a photographer. He just recently had some of his photos featured in a Super Bowl commercial. A lot of his photos are really powerful, really great. He's really good at photographing dark skin tones, which obviously I'm a little bit partial to. Podcast. For podcasts, I would highly recommend checking out Battle the Backlog. It's a video game podcast, but I feel like it also has so much more. It's ran by two of my friends, Carlos and Tyler. I was most recently on an episode where I talked about video game music, so I would highly check them out. Another podcast I would check out would be CMD Cinema, which is my podcast, shameless plug, with my friends Cody and Drew. We talk about films. We just actually released our most recent episode for Train to Busan today, so check out episode 5. Hello. I would highly recommend the Little Guys podcast, which is run by a friend of mine, Josh Freeman, where he interviews a bunch of different artists, people who make music, write poetry, photography, things of that nature. Really good solid podcast. He actually also just released an episode on Thursday, so give it a listen to. One last podcast I want to recommend is one that none of my friends are a part of, and that's Reply All. It's a podcast about the internet with PJ Vogt and Alex Goldman. The last couple of things I want to recommend, movies and music. So for movies, I would highly recommend Columbus, which is a movie that I just watched last night. It's really good, really powerful in its cinematography, and the movie highlights a lot about architecture. The movie was made for me. Check it out, it's really good, really smart. It's got John Cho in it. And then The Last Black Man in San Francisco, another great pick. It's got some powerful quotes in it and some really good scenery. And it's based in San Francisco, which hopefully one day I'll get to move to, and then maybe I can be the most recent black man in San Francisco. For my last movie pick, I'm gonna say Darjeeling Limited, which is a Wes Anderson movie. If any of you know anything about me, you know that I'm a big Wes Anderson snob, and my personal favorite movie is Moonrise Kingdom, but Darjeeling Limited, I don't really know how to express my love for it, but I would highly recommend it. It's a really good watch. For my music recommendations, I haven't listened to the album, but I've heard a couple of the singles and I'm really excited to give it a listen, is the new Weeknd album, After Hours. Definitely really excited. The single, After Hours, I'm a big fan. It's like 6 minutes long, and every time I listen to it, I always forget how long it is. Why is that song so good? Oh my God. For my last recommendation, Headley by Kiese Laymon. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's a professor at the University of Mississippi, which is where I went to school. So I'm really excited to read that or listen to it, however I may get to it. But yeah, I think that's all that I have. If you have anything you want to recommend, any people I should follow, any books I should read, any songs I should listen to, movies to watch, please send them my way, because I'm running out of things to do. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want. Is that weird to say? I feel like it's weird. I'm tired. I can't wait to take a nap.